Okay, so for our session today is regarding variable acceleration motion. So last time we discussed regarding constant acceleration motion wherein velocity is changing in a constant rate. So now, what if the velocity is changing non-uniformly? No. So if that's the case, we will include calculus in our simplification or analyzation. No, and also with the help of the three kinematic differential equations we derived in our session number 1. So yung mga equations of motion na na-derive natin noon kay session number 1, hindi na po natin magagamit. Yung gets po. So yung gagamitin natin ngayon is integral calculus and differential calculus and these three kinematic differential equations. So now, we have a figure here that indicates the process on how are we going to solve problems regarding variable acceleration motion. For example, we have a displacement as a function of time. We have to differentiate that equation or function to get the value of velocity. And then, if you have a velocity as a function of time, to get the acceleration, the process is still differentiation. No, if you have an acceleration as a function of time, integrate that to get the value of velocity. And if you have a velocity as a function of time, integrate that to get the value of displacement. No, so yun yung process natin. It's either differentiation and integration. And regarding variable acceleration motion, we have 5 cases to analyze. So let's start with case number 1. For case number 1, if we have a displacement that is given in terms of time, or S is a function of time. And to find the value of velocity, differentiation yung process, and to find the acceleration, that is still differentiation. No? Okay, so to know the process regarding case number 1, let's take this example. So we have the motion of a particle is given by the equation S is equivalent to 2t raised to 4 minus t cubed over 6 plus 2t squared, where S is in meters and t is in seconds. Compute now the distance and then the velocity of the particle after 2 seconds. Okay, so i-rewrite mo natin ating binigay na equation. S is equivalent to 2t raised to 4 minus t cubed over 6 plus 2t squared. So as you can see, displacement S is a function of time t. So that is under case number 1. Tama? So anong gagawin daw natin? Differentiate. No. So taking the derivative of S, that is S, ds, with respect to time, ano yung derivative ng ating 2t raised to 4? Alam nyo na yan. That is 8t cubed minus derivative of t cubed over 6, 3t squared over 6, plus derivative of 2t squared, that is 40. But, ds over dt, that is a kinematic differential equation, and that is equivalent to velocity. Tama? So, velocity is also equivalent to 8t cubed. Simplify this term, that will become minus t squared over 2 plus 40. So, as you can see, meron na tayong na-derive na velocity as a function of time. Ang kinukuha, what is the velocity after t equivalent to 2 seconds? So, substitute lang natin yung value ng time, which is 2 seconds, para makuha yung velocity. Therefore, velocity is equivalent to 8 times 2 raised to 3 minus 2 squared over 2 plus 4 times 2. Paki-compute po, what is the value of velocity? That is 2 cubed 8 times 8, 64, plus 8, 72. This one is negative 2, so that will become 70. And the unit, since S is in meters and T is in seconds, velocity should be in meter per seconds. And that is our first requirement. Velocity after 2 seconds. Another requirement is to compute the distance after 2 seconds. Since meron tayong displacement as a function of time t dito, substitute na lang natin yung value ng time, which is equivalent to 2 seconds sa formulang ito. No. Therefore, S is equivalent to 2 multiplied by t, which is 2 raised to 4 minus 2 cubed over 6 plus 2 times 2 squared. So, substituting, you will get a value of S equivalent to 2 raised to 4 is 16, 32 plus 8, 40. 40 minus 8 over 6, guys. Calculate. Or 4 thirds. 40 minus 4 thirds. 120 minus 4. 116 over 3. Tama? In terms of meters. Or that is, ano yung 116 over 3, guys?
38.67.
38.
Point?
8.67.
Okay. And that will be the requirement for distance. And that is case number 1. Any questions po? Okay. Let's take another example. We have here the position coordinate of a particle that is confined to move along a straight line is given by S equivalent to 2t cubed minus 24t plus 6, where S is measured in meters from a convenient origin and t is in seconds. Determine the time required for a particle to reach a velocity of 72 meter per second from its initial condition t equivalent to 0. Determine also the acceleration of the particle when velocity is 30 meter per seconds. Okay. So, anong binigay? That is S equivalent to 2t cubed minus 24t plus 6. So, as you can see, that is under case number 1. Displacement S is a function of time t. So, anong gagawin? Differentiation ulit. Derivative of S with respect to time. And that will be equivalent to, ano ang derivative ng 2t cubed? 6t squared minus derivative of 24t is 24. Derivative of 6, that is constant, that is 0. No? But ds over dt is a kinematic differential equation which is equivalent to velocity. Therefore, meron na tayong velocity as a function of time t. No? O, tingnan natin ulit yung ating requirement. What is the time required when the velocity is 72 meter per seconds? So, substitute lang natin yun, guys. When the velocity is 72, that is equivalent to 60 squared minus 24. So, makukuha natin yung value ng time. Therefore, time, simplify, that will be the square root of 72 plus 24 divided by 6. Calculate po, what is the value of time? That is 96 divided 16. Square root of 16 is 4.
4 po.
4 po.
Okay. So, you have now the first requirement. Second requirement, determine the acceleration of the particle when velocity is 30 meter per seconds. Okay. Para makuha yung acceleration, derivative ulit yung ating process. Ano yung derive natin ngayon? Yung velocity as a function of time. V is equivalent to 60 squared minus 24. So, derivative of velocity with respect to time. Ano ang derivative ng 60 squared? That is 12t. And dv over dt is an acceleration. So, a is equivalent to 12t. Ang kinukuha acceleration value. Para makuha yung acceleration, kailangan natin ng time. So, what is the time when the velocity is 30 meter per seconds? Substitute lang natin dito para makuha natin yung value ng time. No? So, velocity is 30, equivalent yan kay 60 squared minus 24. So, time t is equivalent to square root of 30 plus 24 over 6. 54 divided by 6 is 9. Square root of 9 is
3.
3.
Okay. So, when the value of time is 3, you can now get the value of acceleration. Therefore, acceleration is 12 times 3.
36.
Yun.
36.
36, the unit is meter per
Second squared.
second square. Questions po? That is case number 1. Okay, let's proceed to case number 2. Case number 2, if we have an acceleration that is expressed in terms of time t, or A is a function of time. No, pag meron lang tayong binigay sa equation natin na variable A tsaka T, case number 2 na yun. Anong gagawin natin doon? To find velocity and displacement, that is just integration yung process. No, and then we will use kinematic differential equation. A equivalent to dv over dt and v equivalent to ds over dt. Okay, let's take this example. Kumbaga yung case number 2, kabaliktaran lang ng case number 1. Okay, we have here, the motion of a particle is defined by the relation A equivalent to 4t, where A is in meter per second square and t is in seconds. It is known that S is equivalent to 1 meter and velocity is 2 meter per second when the value of time is 1 second. Determine the velocity and distance when t is 1 second. Mali po lang po to guys, make it 2. No, dahil kapag 1 second yun, meron tayong value ni distance tsaka velocity. Kasi given na yung ating initial parameter, which is equivalent to 1 yung time. No, kunin natin yung final parameter, time is equivalent to 2 seconds. Okay, sulat lang natin yung ating binigay na equation. A is equivalent to 40. And that is under case number 2 dahil acceleration is a function of time t. Tama? Ngayon, ang process integration. Kapag nag-integrate, kailangan differential equation. Eh, wala naman tayong differential equation dyan. Saan natin kukunin yun? Substitute A equivalent to dv over
dt.
dt. Okay, so by cross multiplication, we can say that dv is equivalent to 40 dt. So, papansin nyo dyan, na-separate na natin yung variables natin. Tama? So, you are now ready to integrate both sides of the equation. Kapag nag-integrate, kailangan natin ng limits. Saan natin kukunin limits? Lower limit and then upper limit. Okay, papansin nyo dyan, meron tayong initial values na binigay. Kukunin lang natin yung final parameters. When the value of time is 1, so that is our initial time, the value of velocity or initial velocity is 2. So, to final time t, to final velocity v. Nagigets po? Apply now the integrals. What is the integral of dv? Napakadali. That is equivalent to v. From 2 to v. Equivalent to, what is the integral of 40 dt? That is t squared over 2. Meron tayong 4 doon na constant that will become 2t squared from 1 to t. Apply now the limits. Apply first upper limit minus application ng lower limit. So, yung v magiging v minus yung v magiging lower limit na 2. Equivalent to yung t magiging t, walang magbabago doon, minus yung t magiging 1. So, 2 times 1 squared. Gets? So, velocity is equivalent to, transpose lang natin to, magiging plus. So, this is negative 2. And then plus 2, cancelled lang natin. So, velocity is equivalent to 2t squared. Meron tayong velocity as a function of time. Tingnan natin yung requirement. Ano sinasabi? Determine the velocity after 2 seconds. So, substitute the value of time t equivalent to 2 seconds. So, therefore, velocity is equivalent to 2 times 2 quantity squared. Anong value yan? 8. And what is our unit? That is in meter per seconds. So, that is our first requirement. Another requirement is to get the value of, ilan natin? To get the value of distance after 2 seconds also. So, para makuha yung velocity o yung distance, gagamitin natin yung velocity as a function of time. Velocity is equivalent to 2t squared. No, velocity is equivalent to ds over dt. So, may incorporate na natin yung displacement para makuha yung ating distance. So by cross multiplication, we can say that ds is equivalent to 2t squared dt. And then, apply the integrals. No, kailangan ng limits. Tingnan natin ulit yung problem. Ang sabi doon, when the value of time is 1, the position of particle is at 1 meter. No, to time t to position s. Okay, gets po? What is the integral of ds? That is s from 1 to s. Equivalent to, what is the integral of 2t squared? T squared is t cubed over 3. So that will become 2t cubed over 3 from 1 to t. Simplify now. Apply the limits. This will become s minus 1 equivalent to 2t cubed over 3 minus 2 times 1 cubed over 3. Negats po. Ito yung negative 1 na to or minus 1 na to, ilipat sa kabila. So, makukuha natin yung displacement in terms of time t. So, that will be equivalent to 2t cubed over 3. This is negative 2/3 plus 1. That is plus 1/3. Or simplifying further, 2t cubed plus 1 over 3. No, ang kinukuha, what is the distance when the value of time is 2 seconds? So, substitution lang po. Therefore, s is equivalent to 2 times 2 raised to 3 plus 1 over 3. Simplifying, that is equivalent to 8, 16, 17 over 3. Or that is 5.4.
5.67.
Okay. That is our requirement for distance. Questions po?
Wala po, sir.
Okay. Let's proceed to another example. We have here, a boat has an initial velocity of 5j in meter per seconds. It experiences an acceleration of a equivalent to 3 over 10i plus t over 50j, where a is in terms of meter per second square at time t seconds. Assume that the boat is initially at the origin. The unit vector I and j are directed east and north respectively. Find now the distance of the boat when the value of time is 5 seconds. Okay, rewrite lang natin ulit yung ating binigay na equation. A is equivalent to 3 over 10i plus t over 50j. Ang napapansin sa ating binigay, it is expressed in vector form, I and j. Since meron lang tayong i tsaka j, may motion siya kay i, may motion siya kay j, that is 2-dimension motion. Po pwedeng 3-dimensional also. Meron lang tayong variable ni vector k. Tama? Okay. Papansin nyo ulit, acceleration a is expressed in function of time t. Tama? That is case number 2 ulit. Tama ba? So, anong ginagawa natin case number 2? Integration. So, substitute first, acceleration equivalent to dv equivalent to or dv over dt. And by cross multiplication, we can say that dv is equivalent to quantity 3 over 10i plus t over 50j dt. So, na-separate na natin yung variables. Integrate now both sides of the equation. Anong ating initial time? That is 0. Anong initial velocity? Sinabi sa problem, that is 5j. To final time t to final velocity v. Apply now the integrals. What is the integral of dv? Napakadali. V. From 5j and up to final velocity v. What is the integral of 3 over 10 dt? So, since yun ay constant, that will become 3t over 10. And then, include variable of vector I plus. What is the integral of t over 50 dt? So that is t squared over 2, may 50. T squared over 100. And then include or indicate variable vector j. Yung I tsaka j, hindi naman siya different or integrable na variable. No, ang integrable na variable lang ay t. So that is considered as constant variable. And that is from 0 to t. Apply now the limits. So this will become v minus 5j. Tama? Equivalent to. So yung t magiging upper limit time t. Walang magbabago sa form. That is still 3 over 10. 3t over 10i plus t squared over 100 j minus. Yung t magiging 0. 3 times 0 over 10 is 0. 0 squared over 100 is 0. So minus 0. So yung negative 5j, lipat sa kabila. Therefore, we can say that velocity is equivalent to 3t over 10i plus quantity t squared over 100, nilipat, magiging plus 5. And then factor out their common vector j. Okay, gets po? So, papansin nyo, meron na tayo ulit dyan, velocity as a function of time in vector form. Pero hindi pa yun yung kinukuha. Ang kinukuha, distance. Para makuha yung distance, kailangan meron tayong displacement as a function of time. No? So, substitute v equivalent to ds over dt. And then, cross-multiply ulit. You can say that ds is equivalent to quantity 3t over 10i plus t squared over 100 plus 5 j dt. No? So, na-separate na natin yung variables. So, pag na-separate na, ang susunod? Integrate both side of the equation. And then, apply the limits. O, limits na naman ulit. Anong ating lower limit ng time? Initial time is 0. No? To final time t. Anong initial position? Sabi dun kanina, that is initially at the origin. Therefore, position is 0 to final position s. Gets? Apply now the integrals. What is the integral of ds? That is s. From 0 to s. Equivalent to, what is the integral of 3t over 10? That is t squared over 2. So, that will become 3t squared over 20. And then, include variable vector I plus quantity. What is the integral of t squared over 100 dt? That will become t cubed over 300 plus, what is the integral of 5 dt? 5t. And then include variable vector j from 0 to t. Apply now the limits. Okay? So, this will become s minus 0. Huwag na nating isulat yung 0. And then, yung t, magiging t. Walang magbabago. Plus t cube over 300 plus 5t j. Minus, yung time magiging lower limit 0. So, 3 times 0 squared over 20 is 0. 0 cube over 300 is 0. Plus 5 times 0 is 0. So, minus 0. So, hindi natin ulit isusulat. Mapapansin nyo dyan, meron tayong displacement as a function of time, t. Tama? Ano ba yung kinukuha? The distance when the value of time is 5 seconds. So, substitute lang natin. So, s will be equivalent to 3 times 5 squared over 20 I plus 5 cubed over 300 plus 5 times 5 j. Paka-simplify po. What is s? 3 times 25 over 20. 75 over 20 in lower form or lowest term. Divisible by 5. 15
15
over,
over 4.
15 over 4 po.
okay, plus. How about this one? Pakisimplify po to. 125 over 300 plus 25. That will be
305 over 12.
105 over 12.
305 over,
12.
and that is J. Yan na ba yung ating final answer? Ano yung kinukuha, guys? Distance. The distance after 5 seconds. Na-substitute natin yung time. No, ang tanong, yan na ba yung ating sagot? Hindi pa. No, dahil when we say distance, that is scalar quantity. At ito, displacement in vector form. No, dahil ang displacement is a vector quantity. So, para makuha natin yung distance, which is a scalar quantity, kailangan lang natin kunin yung magnitude ni displacement. No, so distance is equivalent to, ano ba yung formula ng magnitude? Alam nyo na yan. Sinabi na yan kay physics tsaka SRB. That is the square root of the sum of the square of the y component of the displacement and the x component of our displacement. Or baliktad, okay lang yan, no? So, substitute lang natin, guys. Ano ba yung Sx? Yun yung kasama ni I. Ano ba yung Sy? Yung kasama ni J. So, that will be the square root of 305 over 12 quantity squared plus 15 over 4 quantity squared. So, the distance after 5 seconds will give you a value of, ano po iyon?
25.
25.69.
And that is in meters. So, after 5 seconds, the position of the particle is 25.69 meters from the origin. Dahil yung origin yung ating initial position. No? Questions po? Okay. Let's proceed to case number 3. Case number 3 is the combination of case number 1 and case number 2. Kapag alam nyo si case number 1 at 2, syempre, alam nyo na din dapat si case number 3. Case number 3, if we have a velocity that is given as a function of time, or v is a function of time t. No? Okay, this is a combination of case 1 and 2. To find the displacement, substitute the given v as a function of time to v equivalent to ds over dt and then integrate. And then to find acceleration, differentiate the given equation. V is a function of time. So, combination of case 1 and 2, which is integration and differentiation. No? So, let's take this example. We have a car moves in a straight line such that for a short time, its velocity is defined by this equation, v equivalent to 3t squared plus 2t, where velocity is expressed in feet per seconds, and time t is in seconds. Determine the position and acceleration when the value of time is 3 seconds. When the value of time is 0, the position is also 0. Okay. Okay, differential muna tayo. Differential calculus muna. Magdi-differentiate. So, what is the derivative of velocity with respect to time? That will be equivalent to 6t plus 2. But what is dv over dt? That is acceleration. So, a is equivalent to 6t plus 2. Anong kinukuha? Determine the acceleration after 3 seconds. So, substitute. T is equivalent to 3, therefore, A is equivalent to 6 times 3 plus 2. Therefore, acceleration is 20 feet per second square. First requirement. Gets? Second requirement, determine the position, S, when the value of time is 3 seconds. Okay. Para makuha yung position, integral calculus naman. No? Paano gagamitin yon? Dapat meron tayong differential equation. Substitute v equivalent to ds over dt. So ds over dt is also equivalent to 3t squared plus 2t. And by cross multiplication, ds is equivalent to 3t squared plus 2t quantity dt. And then integrate now both sides of the equation. Apply the limits. Lower limit. Ano sabi doon? When the value of time is 0, the position is 0. To final time t, to final position s. Gets po? Apply na the integrals. What is the integral of ds? That is s. From 0 to s. Equivalent to, what is the integral of 3t squared? That is t cubed over 3, cancelled. T cubed plus, what is the integral of 2t? T squared over 2, cancelled ulit yung ating constant, plus t squared from 0 to t. Apply the limits. So this will become s minus 0 or s equivalent to t cubed plus t squared minus 0 cubed plus 0 squared minus 0. No. So you have now displacement as a function of time t. Anong kinukuha? The position when the value of time is 3. So, substitute lang natin yun, guys. When the value of time is 3 seconds, therefore, s is equivalent to 3 cubed plus 3 squared. Ano po yung position? 27 plus 9?
36.
36 feet. Okay, that is case number 3. No. Combination lang ng case number 1 and case number 2. Questions po under case number 3? Okay. Let's proceed to other cases. So, other cases, when the displacement, velocity, and acceleration is not a function of time. So, direct differentiation and integration cannot be performed as above without preliminary treatment. Okay, so that is case number 4 and case number 5. Kapag hindi daw naka-express yung displacement, velocity, and acceleration in terms of time. No. So, yung binibigay na function or equation, wala munang variable t. So, that is case number 4 and case number 5. For case number 4 muna tayo. One of the principal variables is expressed in terms of an adjacent variable. Or, meron tayong velocity as a function of displacement or acceleration as a function of velocity. No? Okay, so the procedure here is to use A equivalent to dv over dt and velocity equivalent to ds over dt to relate the given variables in terms of the time and thereby reduce to one of the preceding 3 cases. After that, use integration to get the unknown parameters. Okay, let's take this example para ma-solve natin yung case number 4. We have here the rectilinear motion of a particle is given by s equivalent to v squared minus 9, where s is in meters and v is in meter per seconds. When the value of time is 0, the position is 0, and velocity is 3 meter per seconds. And that is our initial parameters. Determine now the particle's position, velocity, and acceleration as a function of time. No, walang binigay na value ng time. Ibig sabihin, yung ating magiging sagot dito ay equations. No. The position, velocity, and acceleration is expressed in terms of time. Okay, sulat natin muna yung binigay na equation S equivalent to V squared minus 9. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung binigay na equation is S, displacement S, is in terms of velocity V, which is wala naman tayo dun. Dapat, ang case number 4, velocity as a function of displacement. Walang S is a function of V. So, babalik ta rin muna natin para maging velocity as a function of displacement. Gets po? Therefore, V, balik ta rin natin, V squared is equivalent to S plus 9. Therefore, V is equivalent to quantity S plus 9 raised to 1/2. Tama? So, meron tayong velocity as a function of displacement, and that is case number 4. No, ano daw ang gagawin natin? Isusubstitute muna natin yung V equivalent to ds over dt. No, para ma-express natin mismo or ma-include natin mismo yung variable of time. And then proceed tayo kay case number 1. Okay, so what is velocity? ds over dt. And that is equivalent to s plus 9 raised to 1/2. So, separate now the variables. Okay, so by separating the variables, by cross multiplication, we can say that dt is equivalent to ds over s plus 9 raised to 1/2. Tama? Or simplify further, dt is equivalent to quantity s plus 9 raised to negative 1/2 ds. Ginawa lang natin, or itinas lang natin siya. Pag itinas nyo yon, yung exponent, magiging negative. Gets? So, na-separate na natin yung variables ni displacement tsaka ni time. So, you are now ready to integrate both sides of the equation. Okay, limits. Balikan natin yung problem. Sabi doon, when the value of time is 0, so that is our initial time, the position is also 0. So, to final time t, to final position s. Apply now the integrals. What is the integral of dt? That is t. From 0 to t. Equivalent to, what is the integral of s plus 9 raised to negative 1/2 ds? And that is by power formula. N plus 1 over n plus 1. So this will become quantity s plus 9, negative 1/2 plus 1, that is 1/2, and this is also over 1/2. From 0 to s. Tama po? Simplify now, guys. This will become t minus 0 equivalent to, etong 1/2, kapag tinaas, magiging times 2 dito. So, that will become 2 s plus 9 raised to 1/2 minus 2, yung s magiging 0 ngayon. 0 plus 9 raised to 1/2. Nagigets? So, cancel dyan. T is equivalent to 2 s plus 9 raised to 1/2. Paki-simplify to. 9, 0 plus 9 is 9. Square root, that is 3 minus 6. Tama po. So, lipat natin sa kabila. Ang sabi dun sa requirement, the position as a function of time. So, dapat s naka-equivalent kay time. So, s lang dapat yung matitira sa side na to. So, lipat natin lahat. Magiging 2 s plus 9 raised to 1/2. Lipat mo yon, equivalent kay t plus 6. Divide both side by 2. Tama? So, that is s plus 9 equivalent to t plus 6 divided by 2. May 1/2 dito. Square mo both side of the equation. Quantity squared. Nawala na yung 1/2 dito. And then, lipat mo dun sa kabila. Therefore, s is equivalent to t plus 6 quantity squared over 4 minus 9. Gets po? So, simplify lang natin. What is t plus 6 quantity squared? Pag natin dito. Therefore, s is equivalent to t plus 6 quantity squared. So, t squared plus 6. So, 12t plus 36 over 4 minus 9. No, simplify natin ulit. S is equivalent to t squared over 4 plus 12t over 4 is 3t. 36 over 4 is 9 minus 9. It's cancelled. So, meron tayo ditong positions particle as a function of time. No, this is our first requirement. Naka-equation po siya dahil wala tayong binigay na final parameter of time. Okay, gets po? Para ma-check nyo po kung tama yung ating nakuha, dapat kapag sinubstitute itong mga values nito, tama. When the value of time is 0, so maging 0 squared over 4 plus 3 times 0, that should be 0. No. So, dapat nagko-conform tayo kay initial conditions. Okay. Kunin naman natin yung velocity as a function of time. So, anong gagawin natin doon? Since meron tayong S as a function of time, case number 1 na to, di ba? So, paano kukunin daw kapag case number 1 yung velocity? Differential calculus. I-derive lang natin. So, derivative of S or ds with respect to time t. So, that will be equivalent to, anong derivative ng t squared? 2t. Meron tayong 4 doon. That is t over 2. And then derivative of 3t, that is plus 3. Therefore, velocity is equivalent to t over 2 plus 3. And gets po? So, meron tayong velocity as a function of time t. Check na natin kung tama. Dapat magko-conform tayo kay initial conditions. When the value of time is 0, the velocity should be 3. So, when the value of time is 0, substitute nyo, dapat ang velocity ay equivalent to 3. Okay, tama. No? Okay, nakuha na natin yung dalawang unknown parameter. Pangatlo, what is the acceleration as a function of time? Since meron tayong velocity as a function of time, anong gagawin natin ulit? I-derive lang natin yung velocity. So, that is derivative of velocity with respect to time, that is acceleration. Anong derivative ng t over 2? That is 1/2. Derivative ng 3 is 0, therefore, acceleration is equivalent to 1/2. Papansin nyo may value, walang variable ni t. Ibig sabihin, itong problem na to is a constant acceleration motion. No, dahil yung ating A equation ay walang variable ni t. Gets po? No? Okay. Questions po regarding case number 4? Okay, I suppose wala. Dahil tahimik. Let's take another example. We have here a projectile is fired vertically downward into a fluid medium with an initial velocity of 60 meters per second. Due to drag resistance of the fluid, the projectile experiences a deceleration of A equivalent to negative 0.4 v cubed, which is in meter per second square, and velocity is in meter per seconds. Determine now the projectile's velocity and position 4 seconds after it is fired. Okay. So, ang binigay is A equivalent to negative 0.4 v cubed, or acceleration is in terms of velocity. And that is under case number 4. No, pag case number 4, i-substitute muna natin yung value ng acceleration. Ano yung value ng acceleration, guys? That is equivalent to dv over dt. And that is equivalent to negative 0.4 v cubed. Tama? And then, separate the variables. So, pag sineparate natin, cross multiplication. No, yung 0.4 dito na negative, wag nyo nang i-cross multiply dahil constant term naman siya. Po, pwede nyo rin namang i-cross multiply kung gusto nyo. Mag-a-arrive lang din kayo ng parehas na sagot. No? So, by cross multiplication, we can say that negative 0.4 dt is equivalent to dv over v cubed. Yung v cubed lang po yung ating cross multiply. And then yung dt. Okay, gets po yun, guys? Okay, simplify natin. Negative 0.4 dt is equivalent to v raised to negative 3 dv. So, na-separate na natin yung variables ni time and then velocity. Therefore, you are now ready to integrate both sides of the equation. So, integrate both sides. Maglalagay tayo ng limits. Anong limit natin, guys? Ang sabi dun kanina, balikan natin yung problem. Yun. When the value of time is 0, The initial velocity is 60 meter per seconds. So, that is 0, and this is 60 meter per seconds. Dagdagan lang natin yung problem. Nawala lang po, this is included in the problem. When t is 0, the position is 0 meters. No, that is included in the problem po. Nawala lang po siya. So, this is up to final time t and to final velocity v. Apply now the integrals. What is the integral of negative 0.4 dt? So, that is equivalent to negative 0.4 t. And that is from 0 to t. Equivalent to, what is the integral of v raised to negative 3 dv? Power formula ulit. So, n plus 1 over n plus 1. That will become v negative 3 plus 1, negative 2 over negative 2. And that is from 60 to v. Apply now the limits. So, upper limit first, maging negative 0.4 t minus negative 0.4 times t, which is 0. Equivalent to, eto, cancelled lang. Kaya natin i-consider. Dito naman, apply the upper limit first. So, walang magbabago. Yan ay v raised to negative 2 over negative 2. And then minus 60 raised to negative 2 over negative 2. Simplify po natin, guys. This will become negative 0.4 t equivalent to, ito ay magiging negative 1 over 2v squared. Tama? This one naman, negative to, negative yon, magiging plus. And then, bababa, 1 over 2 times 60 squared. Gets po? Anong kailangan natin? Natin yung problem. Determine the projectile's velocity and position after it is fired. 4 seconds after it is fired. Okay. So, dyan po pwede na kayo mag-substitute ng value ng time t. Pero, simplify po na natin bago tayo mag-substitute para mas maganda yung itsura ng ating equation. So, eto, lipat nyo dun sa kabila, or eto, lipat nyo na lang, magiging 1 over 2v squared equivalent to, paki-simplify nga to, guys, what is 1?
1 over 7,200.
Or po, pwede nating i-cross-multiply yung 2, magiging 0.8 yun. Tama? So, multiplied here, 2. Gets po? So, 1 over v squared na lang. This is equivalent to 1 over 3/6. Tama? And then, ito, lipat nyo sa kabila. That will become negative. So, plus 0.8 t. Nagigets po, guys? No? Okay, by cross multiplication, yung v squared, lilipat natin dito, etong function of time na to, pupunta sa denominator ng 1. Nagigets po yun, guys? So, v squared is equivalent to 1 over quantity 0.8 t plus 1 over 3,600. Nagigets po? And then, gawin lang natin velocity. Dapat v lang yung matira dahil velocity as a function of time lang. So, ang gagawin natin, square root both side of the equation. So, pag in-square natin, velocity will become, eto, lipat mo sa taas, magiging negative 1. I-square pa natin, magiging negative 2 yung exponent. So, quantity, 0.8 t plus 1 over 3/6 raised to negative 1/2. Dali square root natin. No? Nagigets po? So, meron tayong velocity as a function of time. Ano sinasabi? What is the velocity after 4 seconds it is fired. So, substitute lang natin V equivalent to 0.8 times 4 plus 1 over 3,600 raised to negative 1/2. Paki-simplify po. What is the velocity?
0.56.
0.55.
0.56?
Apa,
Apo.
Okay. What is
0.56.
the unit? Lang natin yung unit, guys.
Meter per
In meter per
Meter per
seconds.
Seconds.
Okay, that is our first requirement. No, ang second requirement, get the value of the position after 4 seconds also. No, eto meron tayong velocity as a function of time dito. Pag meron tayong velocity as a function of time, kukunin yung position, anong gagawin natin? Ano yung process? Integration. Gets? So, integrate nyo lang yon. V, galan tayo ng separation line dito, is equivalent to 0.8 T plus 1 over 3/6 raised to negative 1/2. Substitute V equivalent to ds over dt. And then by cross multiplication, we can say that ds is equivalent to 0.8 T plus 1 over 3/6 raised to negative 1/2 dt. Tama po. Okay, so you are now ready to integrate, guys. Integrate natin. Anong sinabi doon? Ito yung dinagdag natin na kanina, guys, which is included in the problem. Nawala lang po. When the value of time is 0, the position is 0. And that is our initial parameter. Tama? Okay. When the value of time is 0, the position is 0. No, to final position is to final time 4 seconds. Tama? Dahil after 4 seconds ay yung kinukuha, ano yung requirement dito for final position? So what is the integral of ds? That is s. From 0 to s, that is still s. Tama? S minus 0. Eto, i-substitute na yun sa calculator nyo yun, guys. Po, pwede na yun sa calculator dahil meron tayong upper limit. Nagets po, which is 4. So, type nyo lang as is sa calculator nyo, integral of quantity 0.8t or x sa calculator plus 1 over 3/6 raised to negative 1/2 dx. Apply nyo limits doon, 0 to 4. Makukuha nyo yung position. Kindly calculate po. Nakuha na, guys?
246.4 po.
246.4. Paki-ulit-ulit. Parang mali. Dapat po ang makukuha nyo dyan ay
2.24.
47.
meters. Nakuha ba, guys? 4.4 something. Apply nyo lang as is sa calculator nyo yun, guys, and you will get this value. No? And that will be the requirement for this given problem.